And what up? What up? What up? What's happening? What's happening, Mick?
What's happening? What's happening? What's happening?
Chilling like a villain, but I
Oh
ain't no
yeah,
villain.
no
One
sir.
more time, coming to you live from the 305, now the 954. It's your boy Big Versatile. It's your boy Silky Slick Mick, and
What's
it's South
happening?
Florida Ave, episode 5. Give it up.
Welcome back to the channels, guys.
Woo!
Welcome back, Vic, bro. How you feeling, man?
Man, I feel great, bro. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It depends on what we talk about. So, and since we talk about what we talk about, I feel okay, I guess I could say,
Mm.
because it's week 5 in football. It's actually week 5 now. And
Yep.
I'm not feeling real good about week 4.
Things are shaping up. Things are starting to take shape in the NFL landscape. But yeah, there are some things that we need to talk about that happened last week. So you want to get into it?
You already know.
Let's
Let's
go.
do it. Let's pick up where we left off. Monday
Mm-hmm.
Night Football. Bim, 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 bim. Bum, bum, boom, boom. Bum, 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 bum. Bro, 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 bro.
Yikes.
Didn't look like much of an NFL football game.
Yeah, it was a rough one, man. Listen, Daniel Jones. Listen. So that's all you really need to know about the game. I mean, there's really
Tell me that
nothing
again.
to
Daniel Jones,
say.
what?
I was gonna say poor Daniel Jones. I feel sorry for him. I feel bad for him, because man, I mean, it was a rough night. He was scrambling all night. Very little offense to speak of. So, hey, Seattle came across the country and got back on a plane. They was really happy. So it was a wrap.
Is it really poor Daniel Jones, Mick? I mean, like,
What do you mean?
how is it? Okay, I got a question.
Mm-hmm.
Is are the Giants that terrible around Daniel Jones, or is Daniel Jones just not that good? I'm curious.
I don't know, man. Listen, he's had an opportunity. He showed us what he can do. At the same time, though, honestly speaking, the offensive line is atrocious. I mean, if you
Yeah,
9 sacks, I mean, he literally has no time to throw. And even after halftime, and they came out and they made the adjustments when they were like, okay, what we're gonna do now is just 3 step drops. Let's just do 3-step drops. Get the ball out quick, Daniel Jones. Like he couldn't get off 3-step drops, bro. It was bad. So
I guess with no running game now, it
and no
don't make
run
it
game
no
to speak of.
easier for them.
It's tough sledding in New York, man, for both New York teams. But Zach looked amazing for the Jets and the Chiefs on Sunday night. If we're going to switch gears real quick, but still talking about New York teams, man, Zach Wilson looked amazing for the Jets. He competed. They actually competed in that game, and I don't know. I think the Jets have a lot to be excited about. So,
I mean, we talked about this though because we talked about how Zach has been groomed and primed and kind of ready to step in that place for Aaron Rodgers. Sure, it would have been nice for him to sit on the bench behind Aaron Rodgers, but I mean, at this point, he's in year whatever he's in, and he's got a little bit of experience. So, with the pieces around him, he should be able to carry them a little bit. I don't know if they're going how many wins they're gonna catch this year, but I guess he should be looking better. I guess that's the expectation at the end of the day. So,
well, again, you could
obviously he ain't Aaron Rodgers, but
yeah, but it's easy to expect something, and doing it is two different things. So, yeah, the expectation is there because you're in New York, but at the same time, they brought Aaron Rodgers into New York to do a job because they didn't think he could do it. But on Sunday, it looked like he had an opportunity to be able to do something. So,
say that again, bro. I told you.
I will. We'll do it. We'll do it again. I can't remember where you want
Come up here. Get out here. Wait, pause, Mick. You coming up or you stand down?
He coming up creeping.
Get your butt up here. I told you not to come up here. Man, I hope I can edit all that out, because boy.
I don't know where we should start it from. I don't know where we should pick it up from though.
Expectation and whatever.
So I'll just pick it up from. So, long story short, we think Zach is actually on the turnaround here. It looks like he might be bending the corner, if you will. So maybe good things coming around for New York Jets, but not so much for the Giants. Moving on.
Speaking of the Giants, before we move on, Saquon Barkley, is this guy even a relevant football player anymore? I mean, do we even need to talk about it? Why do we? Saquon Barkley is a preseason household name.
Mm-hmm. Fair.
I don't know if I'm done talking about this dude. Like,
yeah, you got to be available, bro. You have to be healthy, and he hasn't been healthy, so he tends to stay hurt. And if we can't see you play, then that diminishes your value. So,
does this dude even have 1,000 career yards yet? I don't.
No, I'm pretty sure he's been up there rushing. I'm pretty sure the first 1 or 2 seasons were really, really good because.
Yeah, I know.
He was.
I'm exaggerating, but I'm just saying so I can't.
Kind of how he made his name.
That we can't just throw that out off the top of the head because, listen, bro. What happened?
You brought up Saquon Barkley. You brought Saquon Barkley. So
yeah,
bring him up.
Well, yeah, I brought him up because I'm like, yeah, I know. Just it's very disappointing to know. Okay. You know what?
All right.
It's not his fault. It's not Daniel Jones's fault. It's the Giants organization's fault because ain't nobody tell them to draft Daniel Jones. I mean, come on. There were options. And then, hey, you went with Saquon. Okay, I get it. But, I mean, they ain't helping themselves at all. No defense, no wide receivers. Giants fans, I'm sorry. We would even potentially try to invite you guys on. But the truth is,
hold on, bro.
Yeah, I see frozen.
Hold on, bro. Hold on, Vic. Hold on. Yeah, stuck. I've been stuck for a minute. Stuck. Come on.
Hey, are you using Chrome?
No. I think I'm back. Am I back?
Almost.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna take about 10 more seconds. Next time, just use Chrome, bro. Like,
yeah,
trust me. I don't know why. Like, I tried it between everything. The first 2 episodes and a half or 3 we did, and then last week I jumped on Chrome, and like that junk is fluid, bro. Like crazy.
Okay, I think I'm ready.
It's definitely the browser. Giants fans, I'm sorry. I mean, it's a draft thing. Y'all, your organization, Daniel Jones is not a franchise quarterback. I know I'm not the first person to say this, so we're gonna keep it moving because ain't nothing to talk about. And we would invite y'all on here, but maybe in 2027.
Bro, there's nothing to talk about when it comes to the Giants. It's nothing to talk about. It's a wrap. What else you got?
Week 4 had several ups and several downs.
Mm-hmm.
One of the downs I don't care to talk about.
Oh, what's one of the downs?
But I'm going to talk about it.
Yeah.
Don't try me, man. You know what it is. The Saints take an L to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Baker.
This is the only thing I want to say about that.
Man, listen.
Derek Carr. You mean to tell me you let Rudy Scoot, Baker Mayfield come out and outperform you?
Wait a minute now.
Wait a second. I want to put this in full context.
Yeah.
Pause. Sarai! Sarai! Go in the room or something, bro. I'm trying to do a podcast.
You're crazy.
Derek Carr, you let Rudy Poop Baker Mayfield come out and show out on you. And again, let me put this in full context. I'm not calling Baker Mayfield a Rudy Poop
Oh, okay.
because I went on record and said I would take Baker Mayfield in New Orleans. As a matter of fact, I was looking
You did
forward to
say that.
getting him in New Orleans.
You
I was
did say
actually
that.
trying to get Baker Mayfield to replace Drew Brees and be my little backup Drew Brees, and he'll have him get inspired and do a little something. And I would have took it, bro.
You did say
But
that.
the context I want to use it in is that if I'm Derek Carr, Baker Mayfield has to be a Rudy Poot to you, right? Derek Carr, you're the only one who's been in MVP conversations in the last 5 years.
Well, no, I
Playoff
mean Baker.
conversations.
Well, remember Baker was like
MVP conversations,
yeah,
bro.
okay. He took him to the playoffs, but okay. Didn't he take the Browns to the? No, he did not. Never mind. Go ahead.
MVP conversations.
MVP.
Derek Carr, top of the league, top 10 quarterback. Oh, Derek Carr, we've been seeing him all over certain networks, bigging him up all over the place, being an average quarterback, but they just got to talk about him anyway because somehow he's above average, but because he's in the top 10 statistically because he got to throw the ball the whole time because they always coming back from behind.
Well, actually,
You let Rudy Poop. Huh? Say it again, bro.
I was gonna say he didn't really throw a lot on Sunday, bro. He only had like 100 and something yards passing, so he wasn't really throwing it around.
Because he was hurt?
Oh, I mean, no. I mean, they took him out at the end of the game.
Oh. You let Rudy Poop come out and show out on you, man. And huge game. Like, huge cojones game, man. We had to really dominate the Bucks and show them who's running the NFC South. This is your opportunity as the veteran MVP candidate, and you ain't do nothing, man. This is why I want this dude, bro.
Yeah, you
now I got to deal with him for the rest of the year. Kamara got 13 catches, and we lost. We had 9 total points.
Yeah, it's tough. It's a tough game. Tough loss. I'm not at the beginning. It was a little closer, I think, but it became out of reach there at the end. But it was. I don't know what to say. I really don't know what to say about Derek Carr. I know it in the off season. Before you and I even started the podcast, we were talking, and as far as the lottery goes, when it went to free agency quarterbacks, I kind of felt like we won that lottery, if you will, with Baker, and it's paying dividends now for the team. So I'm happy to see that paying off. But yeah, as far as Derek Carr, I mean, he is who we thought he was. I don't know what else to say. It's you knew what you were getting with Derek Carr. He's gonna probably not play every game. If he does play, he's gonna probably throw a pick or two. He if the game's on the line, he's probably not gonna come through. So that's Derek Carr. That has been his career. That's the player you have on your team right now, and we are happy about it. Not to mention, Jameis Winston came in in the game. He went 1 for 1 and threw an interception. I mean, it's perfect.
Not too many platforms are trashing Derek Carr right now, but not. Hey, man. Unfortunately, we know what we're talking about, and you, for the record, let me just quote Silk Mick Meister just said in the quarterback offseason lottery, the Bucks won by getting Baker Mayfield unestablished. This man was coming off the bench. He didn't even have a job for a while. And they won the lottery by getting Baker Mayfield over Derek Carr? Oh my gosh.
Baker.
I agree, man.
Remember, Derek Carr chose first. Like, Derek Carr had his choice because Garoppolo wasn't signed yet. Baker wasn't signed yet.
Pause.
Yep. Come on.
I don't see you moving yet.
Me either.
Still don't see
Come
it.
on. Neither. Just give it a minute here. Come on. What are we doing?
It'll kick in a minute.
Come on.
There it is. See you moving a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
All right. What you saying? I forgot.
I'm gonna pick it up. Vic, remember, um, Derek Carr had his choice. Remember, in the offseason, because Garoppolo hasn't signed with anyone. Baker Mayfield hadn't signed anyone. It was like everyone was really waiting to see where Derek Carr wanted to go. And if I remember correctly, Baker Mayfield went to New Orleans and liked the New Orleans situation, but they were waiting to see, like everybody else, what Derek Carr wanted to do. And when Derek Carr went to New Orleans, he fell in love with the situation, so he went there. Garoppolo signs in Las Vegas, and then Baker, boom, Bucks. Just kind of
I
fell
would have
to us.
taken either one of those guys, bro.
So yeah, woo! Kings of the South right now, baby. Buccaneers, you got it.
Kings of the
Love it.
North?
Kings of the North. You want to talk about it?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, bro. I told you. Can we go on record right now and say that me, Silk, aka Mick, told y'all at the beginning of this podcast, when we started recording these episodes, this team in Detroit was different. And man, first of all, the fact that they spotted the Green Bay Packers 7 points in that fashion, with Goff throwing an interception, you're on the road, Lambeau going crazy. And then after the touchdown, it was nothing but Detroit. It was crazy how they ran shot these boys. Do you? I can't imagine how my man Montgomery must feel doing all this. All those years playing for Chicago, getting his butt kicked by the Packers. He went up in there with the Detroit Lions jersey on and ran through Lambeau. Boy, he must. Man, listen. These Lions are for real. They're for real. Hmm?
I can't. What can I say, bro? Absolutely nothing. The Lions is doing what the Lions is doing,
Come on, man.
and I mean, for I tell you what, for one split second, I was well. You know what? I'm not gonna back down on it. Like Thanksgiving, they're gonna be good, boy. We're
You
gonna have
said
some
it.
good
It's gonna be
turkey and some
good.
good dressing,
It's gonna be a great
because
game.
it's shaping
Yes.
up to be a pretty good classic, and it ain't gonna be like them sleepers that we usually them usual Thanksgiving games that we fall asleep on in the
Mm-hmm.
first half because it's a blowout. But
You're right. This should be good.
true grit.
True grit. All right. What else you got? What else you
Jeez.
got? Oh, wait. Last
Yeah,
week, man, we got to talk about
yeah,
wait, who you got?
yeah.
Who you want to talk about? No, who's
I
it?
already know what you're about to go to. I know what you're about to
What
say.
if they go to? What if it say?
Jaguars, Falcons.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, dude, I was gonna say it.
Well, that was interesting.
Wow.
Big game. Somebody decided to show up, and I'm
Yes,
happy they did.
they
I'm
did.
happy they did. We
It's a
talked
good
about these
game.
dudes and
Mm-hmm.
how they would. The
Yep.
Jags should have showed some resolve last week,
Mm-hmm.
and they got their butts kicked,
I
and I
know.
guess they took it personal.
They did, because it seems like they took the trip to London as an opportunity to wake up some things, because the defense was flying all around the field. I don't listen. Watching the game, by the way, I watched it on ESPN. By the way, Toy Story. It was phenomenal. Let me tell you. Let me
No
give you
Disney
the
Plus.
insight on that. Let me give you the insight on that real quick. It was great. Okay. In some spots, it was a little spotty. You could tell it was still a new technology that they're trying to get used to. So the ball placement sometimes was a little off, or maybe the camera wasn't quite at the angle that they wanted to have it. But all in all, the experience, it was amazing. I thoroughly enjoyed watching the game as Toy Story. It was amazing. Watching Trevor Lawrence when he had his little scramble where he goes to the right and he cuts back to the left. They made little fires, little sparks come out his feet when he's running on the carpet. Bro, it was
That's
nuts.
cool.
The pick six when the Jags picked the ball
Oh,
off
I
and he
saw
was
that.
running back to the bro. That thing, it looked so good. They did such a good job with it. I was so happy and entertained throughout. And even the announcers, they had Booger McFarland and the other guy, the play-by-play guy on there, and they were in the tour. So it was just all in all great experience. But good win for the Jags. Great win for the Jags.
Big win for the Jags.
Yeah, man, definitely. So,
Well,
we could actually stay right there real quick though, if we can, before we jump to college. If we could stay on the Jacksonville Jaguars, because, and since we're talking about it now, we'll just jump into this big game next week.
that's what I was about to say.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, great transition. Because
What do you
even more,
think? What do you
hey man,
think?
this is the game that we've been waiting on. Because we just talked about how they went out, they dropped the game that they should have won.
Mhm.
They showed out last week. They actually showed like they had something to prove, and now they got to take that into next week. And if they could get a win out of next week, oh man, you second in the AFC in my opinion, and that's a great spot to be in mentally. It might not be a reality, but mentally until you face the Kansas City Chiefs again, or until you go up against the Buffalo Bills again, I don't know that anything's taken my confidence away. We just destroyed the Falcons. They were doing real good. And we just beat the Bills, who just beat the Dolphins, who just scored 70 points, who just got blew out.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah. I'm feeling real good after that. So we're going to see. And you know what? This is a huge game for them based on last year. Like if they would have, the Jaguars were making noise in the AFC. So if they can beat the
Mhm.
Bills early in the season, they could just build on that for the rest of the year, and they kind of can be unstoppable in the AFC.
Yeah, the Jaguars made the playoffs last year.
That's
Late
what I'm
round,
talking
they
about.
scoot in there. Yeah, exactly. And you see the makeup of the team, even though, like you said, they dropped that game last week. It's pretty amazing that they did to the Texans. That's a whole nother subject. We're gonna talk about that in a minute. But the fact that they kind of seem like they got it corrected in London against the Falcons, again, look very impressive on defense. Trevor Lawrence looked like he was knowing what he wanted to do with the ball. Calvin Ridley is going to be amazing for them too. You can see they already have a connection. So this week's going to be huge against Buffalo. I wanted to ask you about this now. The game is also in London, right?
Didn't know that.
Yeah. So Buffalo is
Wow.
traveling this week to get to London,
Oh, stop it. Jacksonville
but
been chilling the whole
Jacksonville is
week.
already in London. So do you think that might have some type of, because, I don't know. What do you think? Do you think that's
Huge advantage.
advantage Jacksonville?
Jacksonville.
You think so?
Time adjustment, no flight, no jet lag. You already there. You've been chilling. You've been
Yeah,
getting to the crib a lot faster after practice.
I can see
They
scheduling
coming to us
purposes.
now.
I can see scheduling purposes. I can see how it's practical, but from a competition standpoint, it seems a little unfair because Jacksonville, when they were playing Atlanta, both teams traveled that week. Both teams had to adjust. Both teams got up that day and played that night. You know what I mean? Like, well, not that day, but they were over there on a Wednesday. They had to practice on Thursday, Friday. They played the game on. You know what I mean? So they all were on the same schedule. But now you got Jacksonville, who's already acclimated. They're already there. But this week, Buffalo's coming off a emotional win against the Miami Dolphins, and then after the game, they basically had to get on a plane and fly to London. So
Man,
that has something to do with it.
unfair, I say no because the NFL is obviously trying to implement these London games anyways,
I have
and
no
yeah,
problem with it.
it adds a little bit of spice to the competition level for one team who may have already been sitting there, but then that makes that team more excited about going to London. Oh, we're in London 2 weeks to play football game, so now they don't have the London layover, the London jet lag of oh man, I'm in London this week, like. They're making London their home now. They feel that they're playing a home game. The
Mhm.
London fans can actually get behind that and be like, okay, the Jaguars are our team. We just saw them last week here. It's kind of changing the scope of what they're doing in London. I kind of like it.
No, I
Yes,
like it.
yes,
I
it
like it.
gives Jacksonville a huge advantage, but at the same time, hey man, last time I checked, Buffalo Bills, y'all boys are professionals, and y'all get paid to play football. I'm gonna need you to wake up, go to the airport, get on that plane, get off the plane, go in the hotel, go to practicing, get ready to play some football. Period. No
There it is.
excuses. So, hey,
There
man,
it is.
home field advantage is home field advantage, and this is just another level of it. I like it. But that shouldn't change the landscape of what is going to happen in the game if Buffalo can't use it as an excuse, obviously, right? They could go over there and get their butt kicked if they want, but this is two back-to-back huge game for the Buffalo Bills that they got to establish their dominance and keep it. So good luck to them.
Yeah, we're gonna see. We're gonna see. It's gonna be a good game.
Yeah,
All
bro.
right. Mm-hmm. What else we got? What else we got? You want to just finish up
College
in
football.
NFL? You want to finish NFL or you want to jump to college? What you want to do?
Now I want to go back to jump into some college.
Okay.
Let's talk. Well, actually, let's keep it up for this week NFL. Then, since
Okay.
we're already on it, like you said,
Mhm.
who else you excited to check out this week?
What we got down here? Well,
Potentially,
first of all, you know what? Honestly, you know what? I'm gonna throw you a curveball, and I'm gonna start with this week's game, which is Bears Commanders. Here's why. Last week's game, Chicago was winning that game. Justin Fields looked like the best he's ever looked. He was in
I
control
told
of
you
the
about that
offense.
guy.
He was throwing the ball around the yard. He was running the ball with his legs, looking
Want it.
very good. Yes, for 3.5 quarters. But for the next quarter and a half, ugh. So that being said, Commanders, Bears. I don't know. Commanders are not. This is not. Commanders are the old Washington Redskins, by the way. If people just forgot. But Washington Redskins, who notoriously were bad for a lot of years here. This Commanders team is totally different. Eric Bieniemy now is the offense coordinator in Washington, and so this
Love
team
it.
looks totally different. They are passing the ball around. They are moving and spreading around. Looks really good. Kind of has the resemblance of a Kansas City offense a little bit. So,
Yeah.
and this Chicago Bears team is hungry. They thought they had a victory last week, and it got taken
Yeah.
from them. So Justin Fields has a lot to prove. It should be an exciting game for Thursday. Who you got?
Washington are no punks. They almost won last
Almost.
week. Very close.
Against Philadelphia. It was a very good game. They were winning for
mean,
most of the game.
Kind of should have won it.
They kind of should have
It
won
was. It was a lot closer than I guess it probably looked on paper.
Absolutely.
I watched that game, and
it's a really good
Washington
game.
looked pretty good. So they're no punks.
Mm-mm.
Like you said, they got Eric Bieniemy over there coaching them. Coaching staff is solid.
Mm-hmm.
The players are up and coming and relatively solid.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
they're young too, very young team,
and super young.
Mm-hmm.
They're solid all around. They ain't going nowhere.
Mm-mm.
Which is why this is actually a good game.
Mm-hmm.
The Bears, hey man, we could say it together. We told you so. It's realistically, we knew that the Bears were going to look like the Bears for the first couple games. Here's our opportunity to actually right that ship, and they're not going to write it overnight, but they can win this game. And it all starts and it ends with Justin Fields, but it also starts with the coaching staff trying to protect him. The reason Justin Fields didn't look like nothing in that last half a quarter or quarter and a half is because, bro, you can only do for you laying his whole body out for the whole game. Like
he's working now.
He's worn out, exhausted, and tired. And I mean, he ain't got a lot of tools to help him, man. But all it takes is proper play calling for them. Set him up so that he could be Justin Fields in the fourth quarter and manage the game through the first 2.5 or 3. It's a toss-up. It can go either way. I think it's going to be a huge win for both of those teams for their confidence going forward. Washington coming off a close win against loss to Philadelphia. Kind of a big win against the Chicago Bears, and the Chicago Bears are looking terrible. But this is a big win against a pretty good-looking Washington Redskins team. Who I have, I'm saying the Bears are going to get their first win this week.
Wow, Bears for the win. Man, it's going to be, like you say, because both teams played really good last week. Both teams suffered very tough losses. Losing the way Chicago lost, that's a tough way to lose. And the same thing with Washington. Man, you got a really bad taste in your mouth. You only got 3 days of practice, 2 days of turnaround, really, to get right and go practice, play a game again. So both teams should be really hungry. Should be a good game. I'm excited about watching it. So what you say?
Who you got?
Bears? You said Bears?
I did.
I'm taking Washington. Yep.
That's going to be interesting.
Yes. All right.
We'll see.
So, what else you got? You want to see it? Yeah, let's finish it up. We only got 2 more NFL teams. We'll jump to college in a minute. Let's finish it out. Man, Panthers, Lions.
I mean, listen, man. We looked at the schedule. It's looking like a pretty snoozy week.
Pretty boring.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. However, there's something to be noted in that game. The Panthers need a win, and the Lions, I mean, another win in their book. I mean, listen, they won't be in the top in the NFC at that point. They're going to be top in the NFL. So,
well, they're going to be
I don't care who they're playing against.
Yeah, the Eagles. The Eagles. So, yeah, we're going to see. The Panthers need to win desperately, but the Lions are rolling, and I have no reason to believe anything's going to change in this game. The defense is immaculate, and as long as Jared Goff is not throwing balls to the other team, Detroit going to be all right.
That's still TBD. It's still Jared Goff.
That is TBD. That's what makes it kind of exciting. That's what makes this not a runaway. That's what makes this so like, oh, hold on now. Don't get too excited. It's still Detroit.
Don't take much.
And the reason people can say that is because of Jared Goff. So
doesn't take much for this team, and doesn't take much for that guy. He can go from 1 pick to 5 in one game.
Yeah.
And change the whole landscape of what's going on with the Lions. Might start looking at the backups. You know the Lions got a nice little backup, right? Which is let me see here.
Oh wait. Is it is a nice backup. It's somebody I know. I'm like, oh yeah, that guy's on the team. I can't think of it now off the top of my head. I can't think of who it is.
Forgot.
I know they got a good one though. It's somebody that if Goff was to miss some time, they wouldn't be too upset about it, if I'm not mistaken. While you look up Jared Goff's backup, I'm going to ask you about someone who people think. Yeah.
Hendon Hooker, University of Tennessee.
Yeah, I know.
Just wait for that dude to get a chance to play because, I mean, hey, man, we watched the SEC. That dude legit a little bit. He's a little bit legit.
He reminds me a lot of the kid from UCLA as well. Like, I feel like, again, if Deshaun Watson was ever not be right, they gonna be that dude.
You're going to be play your position.
You boys going to play both of those guys, Hendon Hooker and I can't remember the young man from UCLA. Both of those boys, don't let them boys on the field. Don't let them boys on the field because them boys, they want to play.
What were you gonna say, bro?
I was just gonna move on to the next next team upstairs. You're gonna say we're talking about backups, and I was gonna say, hey, speaking of a team who people are starting to say that their starter should be a backup, Pittsburgh Steelers. Steelers versus Ravens this week. Normally, this is huge. This is like, I don't care what other game is going on. I don't care who's playing who. If this is any other year, and you told me Steelers, Baltimore, Baltimore Ravens and versus Pittsburgh Steelers, I'm what time? So I'll know where to watch the game. And this season,
not so much.
What is happening in Pittsburgh, man?
Wait a second. Wasn't you the same guy that said Mike Tomlin, them Pittsburgh Steelers, them sleepy Steelers, them resilient Steelers? No. Hey, man. So I'm going to leave them alone. I mean, they're definitely sleepy. I mean, listen, man, they ain't got nothing to write home about at all.
What is happening, bro? I'm just so listen. It's so upsetting. First of all, man, ain't no first of all when it comes to Pittsburgh Steelers, bro. It's so many problems, man. The offensive line ain't offensive lining. The running backs ain't running. The wide receivers ain't catching. The quarterback ain't quarterbacking. It's bad. It's bad.
I tried to go on record early in the season, man.
TJ Watt, the only thing.
Guess it.
They need to put TJ Watt.
He better start catching some passes at tight end. So it should be a runaway game, but for the sake of not sticking my foot in my mouth, I'm gonna leave Mike Tomlin and the Steelers alone. unless we're gonna really get a Steelers fan on here to defend it. You know
I'm
what? Forget
sad.
that.
I'm sad
I
about
ain't
it, man.
backing down.
It makes me
They about to
sad,
get
bro.
ran through again.
It makes me
Why?
sad. I just don't like. I don't like NFL where. Hold on. Yeah, I don't like the NFL where the Pittsburgh Steelers are a bad team. It's just bad for business.
Man, why we listen, man? We're gonna have to switch sides on the screen because before you would talk about how they still the Steelers. Now I gotta jump on here and be like, wait, what you talk about? It's still early in the season. They're still the Steelers. They've been to the playoffs how many times? They got a couple tough games in a row. I mean, what you gonna do about that? And to this week's another tough game. They're gonna catch a nasty stank, sloppy L, but then after that they're gonna go get some wins. So you'll be all right. They'll be all right.
We're gonna see, man. We're gonna see. We're gonna see. These Ravens are looking. I don't see any reason why they should win this week against these Ravens. So that should be another L. And after that, what you doing for with the rest of your season? Something's gonna have to change. What's happening in
They'll be all
Pittsburgh
right.
can't happen in Pittsburgh. So
Let's talk some college
all right,
football, man.
let's do it.
Last week we had Colorado playing against USC, and hate to say I told you so. I did say that Colorado might be a little, they might USC might have to worry a little bit, and it was a close game at the
It
end of
was
the
a close
day.
game. Yeah, like let's remind you, it wasn't like they just went in there and they blew these boys out. It was very competitive. Shiloh was able to, not Shiloh, excuse me. Shador was able to keep the game close. Shiloh wasn't available to play, so you didn't have Travis Hunter or Shiloh out there on the defense. So I think that could have made a difference as far as the ball game was concerned. But overall, it was a great game. Caleb Williams looks amazing. No reason why he shouldn't win the Heisman Trophy again this year. Yeah,
unless they catch an L, because they're letting teams get way too close to them, and
listen,
that's very typical of USC.
I hear what you're saying, but I don't think even if they caught an L, I don't think nobody could beat him out for the Heisman at this point.
Oh well, Heisman. I guess you're right. We're not talking about national championship.
Let me tell. Oh yeah, okay. Well, the other kid, that kid in Washington, he's doing some special stuff. Like Washington Huskies. Yeah, you don't really see a lot about him because they're on the West Coast, but he's putting up phenomenal numbers, like Patrick Mahomes type numbers every game, and he's out here doing it against some really good competition. So he's somebody to watch out for.
We're talking Heisman, but how quickly we forget about Mr. Sanders because he could still be in the Heisman. Hey, he's still at the top of the freaking NCAA in passing yards, even with a couple L's. So, shoot, he might slide in there and steal one.
No, I agree. I think Shador's still in the conversation when it comes to the Heisman. Why not? I mean, especially after the game he just had on Saturday. He should be. I think him, Caleb Williams, the young man from Washington, you're looking at 3 African-American quarterbacks, mind you, that all should be in contention for the Heisman Trophy.
Go ahead on with your bad sales.
Like to see it.
LSU played Ole Miss this weekend.
Lane Kiffin.
We talked about it.
Got him a big win. He got him one. Lane went out there and got him one for the boys. Lane.
He was due, man. He was due.
He was due. He was due.
He was due, bro.
Kelly too. So that had to be a little sweet. So good for him. Good for Lane. Good for Ole Miss. You know, you'd probably never hear me say those words again in life. But hey, good game. Good game.
Hey man, we started talking about the Bucks earlier. So let's talk about UF right now.
No, we ain't got to do that.
You say you had 2 teams, right? UF and the Bucks. Let's talk about UF. So I got to check in with you. I recall saying, "Hey man, let's talk some UF Kentucky big game." Why is that? Bro, hey, I remember you talk about defensive coordinator and the defense. Then some guy from Kentucky went and put up 230 rush yards. The only reason he stopped getting touchdowns and yards is because he was tired. Like he ran like 70-yard sprints, bro. Like,
bro,
Smith was untouched.
Bro, he had 280 yards rushing.
I stopped watching at 230, bro. I mean, I couldn't take it no more. I cut the grass.
He averaged 10.9 yards a carry.
They should have did a statistic on how many yards did he get before he actually got touched by a defender. That would have been about 25.
Listen, I have very little to say about the game. Obviously, it didn't go our way. We're still a young team, up and coming.
Next year.
Yeah. Well, we got some things happening next year. We should be changing it. Listen, let me go on the record and say this. Let me go on the record right now and say this. Let me say this. I said it already. What, 2 shows back, 3 shows back? Kind of left it as my I can't remember if I left it as a grenade or I left it out there as one of those little things we do. Told you so's, but I stand by what I said, man. Like, I know it's kind of a far-fetched idea, but if Billy Napier,
it's a grenade. We're going back to the grenade.
Was it? I'm just saying, man. Listen, and this is all contingent on pause.
This is all contingent on.
Man, listen, this is all contingent on Billy Napier. I said, listen, this man's going to have to get himself an offensive coordinator, okay? You get 3 years. Next year's his 3rd year. You're in your 2nd year now. You don't have an offensive coordinator. You see what's happening with the offense. Make the correction. Make the adjustment. You need help calling plays. This is not acceptable. What's happening with special teams is not acceptable. Clean it up. These are simple things that should be corrected by now. And they're not. So I'm trying to give this man a pass, give him an additional year, this 3rd year, get these things corrected. If not, Billy, you're going to have to kick rocks.
You're a generous guy.
Florida State will then go to Colorado to get Coach Prime to come home. Mike Norvell will be fired or released from Florida State. UF picks up Mike Norvell, have him coach against Coach Prime. Perfect.
Give me the rundown one more time.
The rundown?
Napier. Fired.
Okay. Napier, out of there. You're out of there, okay? You didn't get the job done. If Napier's out of there, then in the perfect world, what will happen is Florida State will go to Colorado to get Coach Prime to come home. Boom. Florida State has to release Mike Norvell. University of Florida hires Mike Norvell. Mike Norvell now gets to coach against the rival that just fired him. Go Gators.
Hey, man, I don't know. I don't foresee Mike Norvell leaving Florida State. I mean, they kind of happy with him right now. I don't know if they need Coach Prime. Shoot, Coach Prime got more losses than Mike Norvell right now. So we'll see.
You see this?
We'll see.
You see this right here? You see this?
Money, Prime. W's, Norvell right now.
Oh, man.
Well, moving on to week 6 in the NCAA season. Who are you excited to see this week? I have a few, but who are you excited to see?
Come on. The most exciting game this week, everybody knows the most exciting game this week is going to be Oklahoma versus Texas. Red River Shootout. Let's go.
Shout out to nephew Mike.
For sure. Oh, yeah, went to the game.
That was one of the most exciting games I've ever seen, dude. I think the score was like 63-58. We got to see what's this kid's name? Cardinals quarterback?
No, wait. Wasn't it? Oh, yeah. Murray. Kyler Murray.
Kyler Murray live in action along with Hollywood Brown. Man, that jump was exciting.
Yeah.
Packed up in there.
Yeah.
The stadium's horrible. But it was an exciting game. And it's going to be another one, man. It's probably going to be a 50-50, 40-point shootout. I don't know. It should be exciting. But outside of that, is Alabama back or are they not back?
Come on, man. Listen, Alabama's not back as far as Alabama standards are concerned. That being said, they figured some things out. The quarterback now seems like he has a smaller playbook to work with. Nick Saban's not going to give him too many responsibilities, and they're still allowing him to use his legs. So, look like they figured some things out. This should be a big game this week, though. Texas A&M is a lot better than people think. So, this should be a good game for Alabama. Good test.
Big test, and it's good for their resume because they still only got one loss. So, I mean, I try to call Alabama in the NCAA Final Four football wise, I should say, but they just don't look legit. I'm okay with Xing them out, but it's definitely going to be interesting depending on, hey, we can predict all we want, but what happens on the field happens on the field. If they go out and they look like they didn't put it together and they get it together and they got it together, it's Alabama as usual, but that's to be determined. That should be a big game to confirm if they actually have turned it around or not.
Yep. And it's Jimbo Fisher versus Nick Saban, two big time coaches. We'll see.
Don't like each other.
Don't like each other, so it should be good. Good game.
That's cool. Yep. It's going to be interesting.
What else you got? Oh,
UGA.
Yeah, now all of a sudden this game is the showdown for the SEC East because Kentucky beat Florida, and now they're coming in looking good. All those rushing yards behind Ray Davis, I believe his name was. So they're gonna see if they can go to Athens and put this on the Dogs.
All right, I'm gonna put a little bit more pressure on this show. How many points Kentucky gonna score this week, realistically?
Kentucky's gonna score. Let me tell you something. Their quarterback is trash. Let me tell you that. Kentucky cannot throw to save. This man can't throw a fade route. And why we didn't make this man throw the ball? Well, we couldn't make him throw the ball because they just ran the ball on us. Anyways, back to focus. Kentucky's going to score 14 points.
Dang. I had him at 22.
Wow, that's really good.
Not when Georgia has 59.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, that's right. That's not too bad.
59-22. That's what I'm going with.
All right, for sure. I like it. All right, what else you want to hit on before we get up out of here, man?
All right. So check this out. We done touched on some football for last week. Touched on some football for this week.
Yep.
All right. I got a question for you. Mm-hmm. Let's introduce a new segment. Let's call this segment Barbecue or Mildew. Because I don't have no grenades this week. And I ain't got no told you so's for this week. Right. So I'm going to go with a new segment when we don't have none of those per se on standby. Barbecue or Mildew. My barbecue of the week, I want you to expand on it. Tell me what you think about it. Barbecue. The Houston Texans. Barbecue? Mildew?
Man, that's a good question. That's a really good question. Listen, and I got to give you credit because you did say that CJ Stroud, well, you said CJ Stroud was going to be better than Anthony Richardson right now. Facts. Texas got 2 wins that I didn't see them having. DeMarco Ryan has the defense playing as like he played defense. And if you know anything about DeMarco Ryan, he was nothing to be played with on defense. So all of a sudden, Texans got defense. Texans are playing special teams. CJ Stroud is completing passes. I think we got to barbecue the Texans, man. I don't know what's happening. I know Jacksonville needs to pay attention because Indianapolis might be fumbling and stumbling, but
Houston is not.
Houston is not. Houston is not. Yeah, for sure. I like it. When
I told for the record, if we go back to the episodes, it was a toss up between him and Bryce Panthers
Young.
Quarterback Bryce Young because it came down to play calling, and I just felt like the Houston Texans traditionally have a history of just horrible play calling. This year with a rookie quarterback, and that's including Deshaun Watson. This year with a rookie quarterback, they look like they're taking care of him and they're putting him in position to actually make plays and some stuff he's comfortable with. So he's taking advantage of it. So I agree. They look like they're barbecuing right now. I'm kind of excited about them realistically. I like DeMarco Ryans and the energy they're bringing. defense. It starts with defense. Hey, we know what good offense does. It inspires your defense. They flying around, and it's an easy division. Moving on,
I like it.
barbecue or mildew. And for this sake, should I say mildew or barbecue? The Cincinnati Bengals.
This is obvious. This is definitely a mildew. Joe Burrow is not playing. Straight up. When he is playing, he ain't playing. You heard me? So that's going on. No one's blocking. I think like the last 2-3 games, they had 3 points last game, and the game before last they scored 3 points. Nothing is happening in Cincinnati right now. It's I can't explain it. It's but you know what I have to say, and you before we started this show, before we started the podcast, you and I talked all the time.
Yeah.
Not that I'm not a fan of Joe Burrow. I think he's a pretty good quarterback. I just always thought that people thought he was better than what they were giving him credit for. I've always said that.
Thank you.
I always said that. I'm like, man,
Thank
he's just 3-step drop. I'm gonna throw it in this space. Here you go, Jamar. I'm gonna throw it between the 3 and the 5. You better be in that area because that's where I'm throwing the ball. Like that's the kind of quarterback I think I take him as. So
Yes.
I think a lot of that is just coming to fruition right now. You once you figure it out, and again, you missing around on not participating in preseason or the preseason and missing out on these games, and you expecting to start the season coming in slow, and you coming in hurt. So that's mildew all day. I don't know what's happening with Cincinnati, bro. I don't know what's happening. They're clearly not making the playoffs.
Smoking your cigars, you got your money. You big boy Joe.
Big money. You got that big check.
But you ain't no check down quarterback. You ain't no second receiver, second option quarterback. You the first option, 3-step, throw it, LSU style. Could have played for Alabama because all the athletes around you are good. You ain't Boomer Esiason. You ain't Boomer Esiason.
You ain't that dude, man. Well,
that's it for me, bro.
That's all I got, man. Hey, man.
Before we finish this off, what were you gonna say?
No, that's it. I got nothing.
Quick switch up.
Yep.
So, I did say, did I say it on record on here? I don't know if I said it yet. I think I did. I did say that. Dame Lillard ain't coming to Miami. We saw that. We see that now. What you think, bro?
I think Milwaukee just became the best team in the Eastern Conference.
Hands down. No ifs, ands, buts, or maybes. Eastern Conference Finals.
Drew Holiday going to Boston looks good as well. That's going to help them out. They actually can use now Jaylen Brown and Tatum as 2s and 3s.
They did the same thing with that with Marcus Smart, right? I mean, I don't know. Drew Holiday is offsetting that too much.
They got Porzingis now, a real true big man center.
That should help them.
Said, it should. But the only thing about Boston, all those things should help them. It should. But you took out the core of your team because Smart and Williams and Brogdon was the meat. They always was the potatoes to your meat because they held everything together. Like, these are the guys jumping on the floor. These are the guys grabbing the rebounds. These are the guys, the dirty players. And now you a bunch of everybody's good.
Offensive players.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying? So you don't
play
really
no
have
defense.
that. Yeah, where's the grit come from? Where's the guy that's gonna bang the board? Where's the guy that's gonna hit that other dude that needs to get hit? It needs to be checked. Where are those guys?
Yeah.
So we're gonna see. But Milwaukee definitely improved their team tremendously. Dame Lillard and Giannis listen, they ain't played a game yet, and I kind of already feel like it's a little unfair in a good way. In a good way. You know what I mean? Because Giannis has been without for so long, and then to give him potentially one of the best players in the game right now to basically give him the thing that he hasn't had. Wow, what a gift.
In the meantime, Miami loses the opportunity to keep their core team together that got them to the finals with a whole bunch of bench players. And now we have no point guard, and everybody don't really want to be there because everybody was willing to be able to be traded for Dame Lillard. Everybody named hit the block. So
I don't know, bro. It's still South Beach, bro. No, listen, it's still South Beach. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm sure people's feelings were involved, and maybe they felt a little certain way when they heard their names were coming up in the trades. But if you're here today, during media day,
I guess you're
you
right.
made it. So
I
you're
guess you're
home.
right.
You ain't have to move. You still in
Yeah,
the
I guess you're
same
right.
place. You
Chilling. You home, sweet home.
You didn't want to go. You
It's
didn't want
okay.
to go, and now you didn't have to
Yeah,
go.
that's a fact.
You all right. You all right. You all right. You'll be on for the first game. You be ready to hoop. Let's go. Let's go Heat.
Except Jimmy Butler's. I mean, he either need a haircut or he need to just let it lock up, bro.
You know what? I'm so glad you brought it up. Jimmy changed that. He only did that one day. I saw Jimmy
I'm sure he
today.
did.
Jimmy looks like Jimmy. He's got his hair again. It's in braids. So he only did the emo Jimmy for one day. I think he was just messing around. So,
Trolling.
yeah,
That's what they call it.
There you go.
Well,
Hey,
bro.
man. Yes, sir.
We
Kudos,
touched
bro.
Thursday. We touched Monday
Absolutely.
night. We touched last week. We touched this week.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that's it for us.
We're going to catch y'all next show.
Drop some comments, man. Get your feedback in here. We want to get y'all on here now. We want to hear from you so we can get you on. All right, bro. Well, until next time, you already know.
For sure. We out.
Peace.
Later.
Later.